Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, the sequel to one of the most culturally impactful anime of the 90s and 2000s. This series, running from
Wait, what?
Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, the sequel to one of the most culturally
Oh, okay, the sequel to... I thought he was saying Yu-Gi-Oh! GX was one of the most, like... one of the most significant animes of the... I'm like, what the fuck? Like, no, it's not. But Yu-Gi-Oh! DM is.
impactful anime of the 90s and 2000s. This series, running from 04 to 08, spanning 4 seasons, followed the main character of Jaden Yuki and his classmates running through a more slice-of-life inspired story at Duel Academy, the training ground for the next generation of professional duelists. With the day-to-day goings-on of the school taking center stage, whether it's exams, student life, duels against rival schools, or dealing with the ghost of Jinzo. Wait, what? Yeah, while there were a couple of supernatural elements to the early stages of GX, as to be expected from a sequel to Yu-Gi-Oh!, it was largely just one-off episodes or story beats that passed the time of the school year, fleshing out characters and the world around them. However, this unique...
Hey, I just thought about something, chat. I can't believe that, like, didn't dawn on me. Chat, why is Yu-Gi-Oh! GX structured like that? Why is Yu-Gi-Oh! GX structured like the overarching story? Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. People, so I didn't know what that term meant until very recently. I was watching a video on Neon Genesis Evangelion. So people in the anime community, chat, aka the fucking nerds, they call it, the term is Monster of the Week. And what Monster of the Week means, it's basically terminology that means like it's just an episode in a vacuum that doesn't really move the grand story along. It's like this is just an independent episode that is it's kind of like The Simpsons, chat. Like one episode of The Simpsons doesn't connect to the next one. But Yu-Gi-Oh! DM isn't like that, chat. Like Yu-Gi-Oh! DM, unless it's like pretty much filler, like all the episodes like move the story along. Zexal, I think, is kind of like that too, where there's a lot of like Monster of the Week. It's just like, oh, this is just a random duel between Yuma and Anna and some random fucking people. Like that's how Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal feels. Like, why is that? We prefer to be called otakus, episodic. Young Justice is like that. Young Justice is like a Monster of the Week show with like an undertone of the grand storyline. But Yu-Gi-Oh! GX was way more like that, chat. There's so many random episodes like, Chaz and Alexis are gonna have a love duel, or Jaden's gonna have a duel with this little girl Blair and they're gonna get married, or there's gonna be a robot named Wheeler. It's just like all these episodes they're just weird episodes that don't mean anything. I mean, I'm not saying they're bad, by the way, because I really do like Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. You know, that one dude, Chad, Balowski, that dude was awesome. That whole thing was with Moki. That was awesome. But it's really weird looking back and seeing like the way that GX and DM are structured is like very different. Zexal has numbers as the plot advancers, but the villains themselves don't really progress anything in Zexal until later. I'm saying I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's necessarily like a bad formula. It just feels way different from DM, where everything in DM is like, it's like One Piece. It's like you get these 40 episode giant arcs. You know what I mean?
Unique take on the franchise was quickly replaced by a bulk standard Fate of the World story, which made it a little jarring on first viewing when the story pivoted mid-first season to being another supernatural good versus evil group story, robbing GX of its uniqueness immediately and making it far blandered for the remainder of the season as a result. Luckily, they re-pivoted to the day-to-day structure in the second season until the eventual barge in of the Society of Light, which sort of highlights the major issue.
Okay, hold on. Is that a real criticism, Chad? That like what? So you just thought every episode was just gonna be Jaden randomly dueling motherfuckers for cheese sandwiches and shit? Like you really thought that they weren't gonna introduce the fate of the, like that's every Yu-Gi-Oh! Show. Like who cares? Who cares? You know at some point it's coming, bro. You know Supreme King best. Like at some point every Yu-Gi-Oh! Show, chat, is going to devolve into the fate of the world is this spiky haired teenager versus this villain. Like that's what happens. Like it just doesn't matter. Every single Yu-Gi-Oh! Show is gonna have that at some point. Like, you can have the slice of life, let's have a wedding duel and all of this random shit, but at some point it's like, oh no, this Dark Shadow Force showed up, and only you can beat them, Jaden Yuki. Why me? Because you are the chosen one. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's all I'm saying. Dude, that was DM2. Which show doesn't do that? This was the second series, so okay, but would that have made for a good show, chat? If every episode was just slice of life, Jaden dueling in high school, that'd have been fucking lame. I'd have been like, does this show ever like go anywhere? That actually would have been my criticism to a T. I'd have been like, does this show actually like ever do anything? You know what I mean? It would have been it would have felt like, okay, it would have felt like there were no stakes. That would have been the issue. It would have felt nice and charming for about like 30 episodes, and then it would have felt like, okay, so where's the sense of urgency? Where's the danger? Where's the adventure? Where's the actual like fucking villains? Where's the bad stuff? Where's the urgency? Where's the fucking stakes in this show? You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying.
GX from a story point of view. It clearly wanted to be a spanning epic to follow up the DM era, but couldn't commit to an overarching plot hook, unlike the original's ties to the Millennium items, which at least provided a through line between the arcs of the manga and the non-filler arcs of the anime.
True.
GX had 4 different antagonistic forces between the Shadow Riders, Society of Light, Yubel, and Night Shroud, with a through line not being established until season 3, with Yubel being tied into the previous season's Light of Destruction, causing a lot of disjointedness across revisiting the series as a whole, with tonal whiplash being common. Needless to say, GX could have done better if it had a central focus from the start to drive the story around, giving a proper end goal in mind from the beginning, like how most shonen anime at the time did. Even if your end goal is far, far off, it still gives you an end game to work towards. So why am I talking about this at such length?
Is that true? Can a show just make its fucking plot up as it goes along? I'm gonna say yes. Yeah, I'm gonna say yes. Can a show just make its plot up like as it goes along? Because he's basically saying like, hey, they just like went, you have slice of life, and then you just like introduce these bad guys, and then you beat the bad guys, and then you go back to slice of life, then you just introduce some completely different bad guys that have nothing to do with the other bad guys, or like some long story. I'm gonna say like, that's fine. Like, what's wrong with that? Dragon Ball basically did. Let me think. Yeah, I don't think that's yeah. Because it's not like anything from the Cell Saga has anything to do with Frieza or Namek or the Saiyans. They don't have nothing to do with any of that shit. It has to do with the whole Cell thing has to do with Dragon Ball, with like Dr. Gero and shit. Shit you wouldn't even know about if you didn't watch Dragon Ball. So yeah, what's wrong with that? What's it called? Dragon Ball tied everything together until Buu arc. I don't know about that.
A year after the anime's introduction in Japan, the GX manga would begin its publication in Weekly Shonen Jump in late 2005, with its initial chapter making it clear from the word go that this was a different story from the anime prior. With some setup beats being the same, they completely skip Jaden's entrance exam but still reference how he beat Crowler to be enrolled in Duel Academy, but taking on different attributes. What sets it apart from the anime is its approach to the long game and character growth, as the GX manga takes the bones of what the anime did before it and runs miles with it, crafting a unique story from its predecessor that follows through to the end, with a centralized antagonistic force and a through line that is established in the first few chapters. The manga, in 64 chapters, manages to tell a multi-arc story from beginning to end that never seems to question what it wants to accomplish. And as such, I feel many who enjoy Yu-Gi-Oh! And the different series it encompasses should give the GX manga a true shot. This will be a bit of a love letter to the series overall, going into many of the characters, their arcs and growth, some of the major plot beats, and, by necessity, the ending. As such, this will be a heavily spoiler-filled retrospective on the manga as a whole, so if you'd like to give it a shot without any spoilers at all...
Oh damn, this video's 20 minutes? Jesus Christ. Okay, you're saying it's better, but like, why is it better though? Why? It makes Chaz a great character. I mean, look, I gotta be honest. I think Chaz is a great character in the anime. I don't think that they make Chaz. Let me specify, or let me be more specific. I think Chaz is a great character in the anime. I don't think Chaz is a great duelist in the anime, but I think he's a great character. Now that is unfortunate, chat, because usually the rival of the show is a great duelist and a great character. Like if you look at Revolver, insane. You look at Jack Atlas, insane. Like usually the rival is supposed to be like a great, I mean, you could say maybe because they tried to like change the rival. Yu-Gi-Oh! GX is the only series I believe, chat, where they like tried to change, or it feels like they changed the rival multiple times. It's like, oh, okay, first the rival's Chaz, now the rival's Zane, now the rival is fucking Crystal Beast Boy. You know what I mean? With the other shows, it's like, no, Jack Atlas is the rival the entire series. Kaiba's the rival the entire series. Did I say Kaiba or Kaito? Kaito is the rival the entire series. GX kind of felt like it, you know, was kind of just going on the fly. Like, all right, let's just change this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. Kaito, oh yeah, same thing. I feel like Zane Truesdale was a better rival than Chaz. I like Chaz more as a character. Also, as a guy said, the GX manga is much more consistent in theme throughout. Oh wait, so you're saying like how GX goes from like wacky and zany to like season 3 dark and edgy and everything is tragic? I like that. I like that. It feels very One Piece-y. I'm rewatching One Piece right now, chat. Oh my god. I love how One Piece can be such a zany, stupid show, chat, that is like borderline a comedy to, you know, Robin's backstory, which wants to put you in tears. I love that as a show, because like I never really got that from other shows, chat. Like Naruto never made me feel sad, like pretty much ever. Like all the backstories, I was just like, okay, so you were like an orphan kid or something and no one liked you. Like, all right, it's not really doing it for me. Dragon Ball, it's like, okay, but you know, those shows don't like make me laugh like One Piece does. Hajime no Ippo is like that too. Not even Zabuza Haiku. I don't know. I like those two as characters, but the whole like kind of gay pervy relationship kind of like it hit me for a loop, man. At first I thought they were like business partners per se, but then it's like, hold on, are you like a 25-year-old guy and Haku's like a 16-year-old kid? Like, you guys know that you're not supposed to be in a relationship, right? If you want to be in a gay relationship, cool, but you literally shouldn't be in a relationship because it's illegal. You know what I mean? Once I got to that part, I was like, wait, you're way too old to be fucking around with this kid. That kind of like was like, I don't know about this. What's the overarching theme of GX? Get your game on, Baldo. The overarching theme is get your game on.
You can read the entire.
It's like the overarching theme of GX is just like have fun, live in the moment. That's kind of it's like have fun, live in the moment. Jaden feels like the spirit of GX of I'm just here to duel and I want to have a lot of fun, and you know, if I win it's fun, if I lose it's fun, as long as I see new. Like Jaden is the type of person, chat, that like I always say in real life, like shut up. It's not my job to make you have fun. You know what I mean? That's what I always think of. People who are like, I don't like floodgates. Like, oh my god, you're like an actual fucking Jaden, aren't you? You want every single duel to be like 5,000 interactions and shit. But like that's kind of like how it feels. You clearly didn't see, bro, that shit barely even counts. They didn't even dub that. Okay, well, if you're only saying that season 4 is a problem, then I feel like my point stands, because that's the first 3 seasons of the show is like that's how it feels. And even with the show going darker in season 3 and 4, it's like that's fine, because you know a bunch of traumatic shit happens to Jalen, or Jaden, excuse me. Jalen's my nephew. A bunch of traumatic shit happens, so it's like, okay, well, he's not going to be quite as lively with all the trauma that he goes through. So like that's kind of understandable, you know. There
series officially through Shonen Jump.
Have fun and duel. There you go. That is like the spirit of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, chat, and that is not the spirit of Yu-Gi-Oh! DM. The spirit of DM is not like have fun and duel, forehead. The spirit of DM is like I want to be the best or be the king of games and shit like that. But it's not like let's just have fun and be carefree. That's not how DM really feels.
Even still, I will still provide blanket spoiler warnings once we get into the end game, giving a large warning before we discuss the ending and the chapters leading up to it. So with that said, let's get into it.
I don't know. I just feel like videos like this, chat, whether they're accurate or not, are just the manga elitists who smell their farts and are just like, manga is so much better. Let me smell my fart. Like, I don't know. You guys know the episode of South Park with the people from like San Francisco who smell? That's how I always think of like these manga people. It's like, oh my god, you just sit around smelling your own farts. Is that what you do? That's what you are. You're just a manga elitist. Like, I watch manga.
Is why you should read the GX manga.
Yep. Smelling your own farts.
Let's start off by talking about the characters of GX.
The suffering
Jaden in the
continues.
early chapters does appear to be the same character as he is in the anime, with the only difference being his deck uses a completely different set of elemental heroes compared to his anime counterpart,
Vision?
using monsters like Stratos, Ocean, Woodsman, and Terra Firma. And just like his anime counterpart, the suffering would seep in from there. Jaden's current deck of elemental heroes was left to him by his friend and hero Koyo Hibiki, one of the greatest professional duelists of the era, leaving him not only Terra Firma, said to be a unique one-of-a-kind card, but also his partner Wing
Round
Kariba,
7? Okay,
an
we'll
odd
get
monster
to it,
that
we'll get
appears
to
to
it.
have a spirit itself. Unfortunately, shortly
Here,
after...
I'll let you guys decide. Do we watch this out or do we go to round 7 and then come back to this? Let's go to round 7, chat, and then we'll come back to this. Noka's 5Ds and Zexo mangas aren't as good as what's it called? Do What You Want. Cap, have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, Obito-kun. Have a good night. Thank you for coming by, and thank you for subscribing. Okay, yeah, we can watch round 7.